So I was just notified that I'm too sick to continue, and I probably won't make it much longer. I tell you, I watch some of these YouTubers and the preppers, and I've talked about this several times, and this is going to lead up to me being sick. And they talk about how they're going to be able to survive SHTF. Stuff hits the fan. And, you know, they look like tough guys. They all got the beard. I think the beard is a requirement to be a prepper. I guess so you can learn how to do without a razor. I've shown this before. I keep my knives so sharp that I can shave with my knife. I don't know why I can't just shave with my knife if I needed to. I'll see if I can demonstrate here. All right, here we go. I don't know, maybe you can hear that, but maybe you can see the hair on the knife. It's hard to do this in front of the camera, but I can take it. So I don't know why you can't shave. To me, it's just more that you got to take care of. You got to clean it and comb it. It's just easier to shave it, I think. I guess the beard is a requirement to being a prepper and being a tough guy. You always got to have that deep, grumbly voice. I'm not talking like this, and this makes me tough. I have seen some of their physique. Now, I weigh 175 pounds. Now, about a year ago, I weighed 195 pounds. And then we went on a carnivorous diet. I lost body mass. Lost my stomach, lost my hind side. Carolyn's actually the first one noticed. She said, wow, your hind side's looking good. I got on the scale after she said that because I noticed my belly was getting smaller too. And I still weighed 195 pounds. I know it was muscle. And the reason I know it was muscle, for a couple reasons actually. I put a concrete block in front of the chicken coop, the chicken run, and every night I have to lift that. Well, I used to lift it with 2 hands. But I don't even think about it anymore. I just lift it with 1 hand, just like. So I know I've gained some muscle. I know I look scrawny. I was scrawny as a kid. I ran cross country and track. I didn't play football, baseball. But I'm pretty agile. And I can hold my own, I think. I don't know, for 52 years old, I know for a fact I can run laps around much younger people. I can walk a long ways. I don't run so much, and that's not because I can't run. But the older I get, the more I think I fear injuries. And I'm pretty susceptible to twisting ankles, so I don't want to twist an ankle. Oops, I lost my path here. I made a path that goes all the way around the property now. There's the wooded area of the property. But this little curve here, I had to figure out how to get around the trees, and because there's a creek here. But I watch these YouTubers, and one of them, I'm telling you, and I don't mean to be insulting, really looks like a tick. I mean, his head's real small compared to his massive body. And I look at the nation, and statistically speaking, the nation is very unhealthy and overweight. I feel like I'm very healthy. I don't go to the doctor. Now, Carolyn, I think, is actually more healthy than me. I have allergies. I was mold poisoned a long time ago. And so allergies, I'm very susceptible to them. It's very frustrating. I've tried all the things I can think of. I've watched all the doctor videos of what could be causing it. Taking probiotics. And I try all kinds of different things, and I'm not giving up on it yet, but I am susceptible to the Missouri pollen. It's pretty bad in the spring. Even last fall, I got nailed pretty hard. But I also had a sinus infection then. And I was able to take care of my own sinus infection. Didn't have to go to the doctor. I was able to figure out a way to take my own antibiotics without getting a prescription. Can't say it on YouTube on how to do that. But Carolyn, on the other hand, she doesn't take any medications. I take Benadryl. I do take a few vitamins for my eye, because, you know, I've lost my sight in my eye, but that was because of a doctor. But Carolyn is much better shape health-wise than I am. And she's 10 years older than me. But I watch these people, and I don't know how they're going to live without a doctor. I know they are going to the doctor. They have to be going to the doctor. They're not healthy. Some of them still smoke. Some of them still use the vape. And if you're thinking that you're going to go into SHTF with cigarettes and a vape, you're not going to last. It is tough to quit smoking. I know. I tried twice in my life. And I used the vape to get off of smoking. I don't know, maybe they have a plan. But to get on YouTube and be smoking your vape, you're not demonstrating to me what it is that you're going to do. Now, I've talked about coffee. I drink a little bit more coffee than I should. But I have a backup supply. So my plan is, and I've talked about it, so it's not like I don't have a plan for it, is as soon as the SHTF were to happen, I would drop down on the amount that I'm drinking. It's going to be a little tough for a few days. I've stopped drinking coffee. It takes a few days to get off coffee. It'll be tough. You'll be tired. Probably headaches. Of course, I got enough Tylenol to get through the headache spell. And then I just wean myself off as I'm depleting my stockpile of coffee. But that's really the only thing that I think I'm going to have to worry about other than the Benadryl. Now, I can live without Benadryl. Don't get me wrong. It's miserable. But I can do it. I have done it. We have a stockpile of antibiotics, but that's just good sense. You should have antibiotics for infections. And keep garlic around. You should take a garlic pill every day, or eat garlic, because that prevents infections also. But I don't hear this kind of talk from preppers. You know, I got to stockpile food and water. So you'll have your food and you'll have your water, but you won't be able to do anything else. The one thing I see all preppers do, they sit in their air conditioning living rooms while they're making their videos. We don't have air conditioning. That's deliberate. We do have air conditioning in the camper, but we don't use it. And that is in case one of us gets overheated. We could turn it on and cool ourselves off. The other thing we could do is jump in the truck, cool ourselves off there. Even in a prepping situation, I can do that. But if you think you're going to be in air conditioning all the time, I don't even understand the concept. They talk about keeping yourself discreet from outsiders. They talk about getting enough solar panels on their roof that they can run their AC. Well, you have that many solar panels, you're not going to be discreet. And you're going to be running your air conditioner. People can hear the air conditioner. But what are you going to do, these preppers, when SHTF happens, their food supply automatically drops? I really get the impression that preppers think they're going to be able to continue their lives like today. Like they're hooked up to the grid. Oh, there's no problem. I'm just going to flip a switch and I will go from grid to magic beans to power my house. I mean, that's all I get. I don't really see how they're going to... They need to learn how to suffer. And I use suffer, I'm not even sure that's the right word. Carolyn and I don't suffer. I feel very comfortable living this way. I would imagine 5-10 years ago, probably 10 years ago, I would have struggled living this way. But over time we were able to adapt. But then again, I don't know that for sure. We started living as nomads. We had to learn how to live in a pop-up camper. And then we had to downsize to a truck camper that we built for the little four-cylinder truck. And that transition to me wasn't terrible. I was able to do it pretty easily. There was a couple things that I had to adjust to. But for the most part, I think I did pretty good. So I wonder if these preppers have even tried to adjust to a lesser lifestyle. And my guess is no. I would imagine that prepping channels do very well on YouTube. And I guess you could accuse me of being jealous. I don't think I'm jealous. I think I don't feel comfortable fear-mongering too much on my channel. I would have guessed, you could say I have, but I don't feel comfortable with it. I don't feel comfortable with coming on every day and telling you how the world's gonna end tomorrow. Just, well, get over it, you're gonna die. And then come back in the next day and go to the same audience who didn't die, even though you said they were going to die, and do it again. I just don't feel comfortable with that. So I try to tell you how to actually live off grid, live your dreams. And if you're living your dreams, you should be able to live SHTF a little bit more comfortably. I would think the van groups, because that's a dream a lot of my audience has, living in a van. I didn't like it. And so I don't condone it. I don't condone things that I think are bad. But I understand it. I understand that people want to do that. And I do think they'd have a better shot at living in an SHTF than preppers. They're going to struggle with food, van life, because they can't store food, and there's going to be difficult to get food. With us, we have the chickens, which gives us a huge advantage over van lifers. We also could hunt. Now, I'm not relying on hunting. A lot of preppers talk about, I'll just go out hunting. First of all, you gotta be in shape to go hunting. You know, walking 10 miles to get to a good spot, probably not gonna be able to do it. The thing you gotta think about hunting is everybody's gonna be hunting. There's not gonna be a lot left. Last fall, before deer season, there had to have been 24 deer around here that showed up every day. I've only seen signs of deer twice since deer season. Saw 2 deer down here. I came walking down with my headlamp on at nighttime, and I saw their eyes in the woods. So I know there were 2 deer then. But then it was forever, and then just, what, 2 or 3 days ago, I saw 1 deer. So they're starting to return, but they were decimated last deer season. That's 1 season. Now imagine if everybody's hunting every day indefinitely. They're just going to be wiped out. You're not going to get anything. You're going to have to focus on eating raccoons and possums. Ugh, I can't eat raccoons and possums. Well, that's pretty much all that's going to be left, and you may not even have that. Once people get over the fear of eating them, they're going to eat them. They're going to eat anything they can, assuming they know how to even butcher. But I had a pretty famous YouTuber, prepper, come onto my channel and really give me a scolding about, well, a lot of things. Told me that there is no way I'm going to be able to survive. Now, I know this guy is huge. He's definitely overweight. And I never actually see him do any prepping. But he comes on my channel and tells me that I'm just not gonna make it. Now, I feel like, I'm not a prepper, first of all. That's important. But I feel like that I can handle probably 90% of the things that are thrown my way for probably about 2 years without making any adjustments in my life. Without saying, okay, solar panels, the batteries are gonna deplete, and I'm gonna have to rebuild my batteries, I'm gonna have to fix them. I gotta do all those things. So I got 2 years to get in the routine of not having resources available outside my property. That's not bad, 2 years. That's a good long time. Maybe in 2 years, things would recover. But we're hearing preppers say, you gotta make it for at least 6 months. 6 months. Well, if that's all you're expecting, then I don't know if that's much of a plan when you're talking about SHTF. And when they're talking about absolute catastrophic, I mean, a hurricane to some people is an SHTF, but they're talking about forever, long term. I'm gonna start a new society. No, you're not. You're not that smart. None of us are. So he comes on and he says, first of all, I'm not big enough. I'm just too scrawny. I'm gonna be taken out with the first wave, whatever that is. I mean, I'm assuming he's talking about the hordes of people that are gonna come and overtake my food supply, which is like, you know, 19 chickens, 16 chickens, some eggs, a couple canned foods. I mean, if we're talking about hundreds of people coming and overwhelming me, they're not gonna get anything from here that's worthwhile. There's not enough food to feed the hordes of people he's talking about. But I've talked to you before that I'm not going to discuss my self-defense. My self-defense will do very well with the hordes of people. And I'm not sitting around up all night thinking, oh, where are they? I'm not doing that. I don't have security watching with my mag. No, I don't have any of that, which was the criticism, that you can't survive alone. I'm gonna do all right. I survive alone now. I mean, yes, there are some things that we go out and buy, but I don't necessarily have to. So essentially he ended with, you're just too sickly, too small, too scrawny to make it. Give it up, get off YouTube. That's what he wanted me to do. No, I'm not getting off YouTube. And I'm not a prepper, so I'm not here to survive. I'm here to live a dream. And I feel like living the dream without all that fear, much better life. I'm not afraid. So if you'll click this up next box, take you to a video where I was talking about nagging wife finally left. So I hope I can inspire you to live your dream. Don't live in fear. Thanks for watching.